guys, Roxy Sims here, and I have another speed build for you today. Today I am building the community space of the Port Promise neighborhood in Evergreen Harbor. I am sticking with the industrial theme in this neighborhood, so I am imagining that this used to be maybe a boat factory or possibly like a shop that you could come take your boat if it needed some repairs. But just like everything else that I'm building in this neighborhood, it has long since been abandoned and is no longer being used for its original purpose. And since this has been abandoned, it's kind of turned into this dumping ground for people who just don't want to pay to get rid of their old junk. So lots of people are just putting their old tires and trash and everything like that. So the city has taken ownership of this, and now the community wants to get involved and turn it into something beautiful and useful again. And like I said earlier, that is pretty much the theme for the entire neighborhood of Port Promise for me. That is a theme that I am going for. Just like the restaurant that I just made, I turned the old caboose bar into like an abandoned factory, and then it's been renovated to turn into a restaurant, coffee shop, and bar. And then this community space that you can turn into the community garden or makerspace or whatever. And I think I'm going to do the same thing with the old mill. It used to be a wood mill, so like a sawmill, and I'm going to keep it a house, I believe. But I think I'm going to try to make it feel as much like an old wood mill as I possibly can. So yeah, I'm just going to be doing that all over this neighborhood. And I guess I should explain community spaces just in case anyone hasn't had the chance to play the new Eco Lifestyle expansion pack yet. So, in the 3 neighborhoods in Evergreen Harbor, there are 3 community spaces. So it's this lot, it is really run down, there's trash everywhere, and basically the community comes together and they vote. There's this like little voting board in front of the community space. And the whole neighborhood gets together and you can vote on what you want to turn it into. So there are 3 different options. There's the community garden. There is the maker space, so where you can get together and craft things. And then there's also like a little a place where you can sell all the items that you have crafted. And really the whole premise is that there's this rundown lot that's kind of bringing down the neighborhood, and the neighborhood wants to get together and just make it pretty again. So obviously, this lot that I'm working on right now is the before picture. This is before everything gets turned into something nice, so I really wanted to make it very rundown. Trash everywhere, cracks in the windows, grime, I want it to be a very big transformation for when it gets turned into something nice, like a community garden. I might have gone overboard on the trash, but I really just couldn't help myself because there is so much good trash in the debug section with this pack. I mean, really, this pack is so trashy and I love it. It really is so good. So there'll be kind of these like lines of trash that you can use in this. And okay, so let me explain. A line of trash, it's like whenever there's a chain link fence and there's a whole bit of trash lined up on the edge of the chain link fence. Well, they have that already made up for you, so you could just take the whole line of trash and line it up right up against your fence. It's so cool, and I definitely used it a lot with this build. Honestly, the trash and the industrial style of this pack, this kind of stuff is what I have been waiting for a long time. I am a big fan. So anyways guys, like I was saying, this is the rundown version of this lot. I am going to be sharing the fixed up versions of this lot as well. I haven't built them yet, but I'm doing that pretty much right after I finish this voiceover. And I don't know if I will put them all in one video or if I will separate them up into the 3 different types of lots that you can change this into. Honestly, I'll probably put it into 3 different videos because I think that's just too long. It's going to be too long to put in just one. And honestly, the shell of this build took the least amount of time of anything. It's the decorating that's going to take the longest. So it'll probably be 3 separate videos for the 3 different types of lots. I really need your opinion on something though, so please let me know what you think. But what I am wondering about is whenever I fix this lot up, make it into community garden or whatever I turn it into, I don't know whether I should paint the brick. So if I should give it like white paint on the brick, or I just don't know, because I really like this brick, and so I don't know whether if I painted the brick white, whether it would take away too much of the character, like away from the build. I just don't know. So please, if you have an opinion on that, please let me know down in the comments, because I am really wrestling with it. I wanted to tell you guys the inspiration for this build. So, as I do very often, I got inspiration from Red Dead Redemption 2. There is this city in Red Dead Redemption 2 called Saint Denis, and it's very much based on the real life New Orleans. So it's like one of the biggest cities in that game. And if you don't know about Red Dead Redemption 2, which, you know, I'm assuming you do because most people do. It's a huge, very popular game. But in case you don't, it is based on the end of the kind of Wild West era. So, you know, very late 1800s, very early 1900s. And it's super industrial in Saint Denis. There's this whole very industrial area, and I'm just constantly inspired by it. There are so many amazing buildings in that area. And this is very much based on one factory / warehouse in Saint Denis. And whenever I saw it, I kind of instantly fell in love and knew that I had to build that in The Sims. And the building had the same kind of roof line. It's the sawtooth roof line, and I love factories that have that kind of roof. They are amazing. So I knew that this old factory had to have that roof line as well. I definitely didn't make an exact copy of that factory, but the shape is very similar. It's pretty much just different colors. I do think it does have a green, that kind of garage door there. It has green ones as well, so I kept the green, but I think the building is white in the game. So it's very, very similar to the one in Red Dead Redemption 2. That is kind of hard to say. RDR2. That game is just hard to say. Good game though. And geez Louise, I hope my mouth decides to start working at some point today. That would be very nice. One thing that I'm not really sure about with this type of lot, this community space lot, is do I need to wait to upload it until I get the other lots done as well? You know, as the community garden, the makerspace, and the selling space. I don't know if I need to finish those before I upload this. So, do you guys happen to know that? I haven't done a community space yet, so I wasn't sure. And I haven't downloaded one either. So I'm just really not sure how that works. If I have to upload each one separately, or if I just upload this version, if it will use the versions, like the community garden version that I have now, before it's been renovated. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense, but I'm not sure what needs to be done. So normally I'll have a build, pretty much ready to go, and uploaded to the gallery whenever I finish the video and upload the video. But I'm not sure with this one. So if I don't happen to have it up, don't worry, I will as soon as I get the other versions done too, if it happens to need to be done that way. I hope it makes sense. Oh, these are the lines of trash that I was talking about earlier. I know lines of trash sounds weird, but I didn't know what other way to describe it, but they are so awesome. And I had a lot of fun putting this fence around it. It's like a debug fence. And with the debug fences, you can make them kind of old looking and kind of like they're falling apart. So on some areas I have the fence completely open, like it's been pushed in, and then other parts I have it where it's just it's not really straight anymore. And one thing that's super nice about a debug fence is you can put them right on the very edge of the lot. Unlike the regular fences where you have to put them one tile in, I very much prefer being able to put it right on the edge. I hope at some point in Sims history that we will be able to put the fences right on the edge. That would really make a huge difference. Another thing about that, just think, if we could build on the very edge of the lot, think of what you could do in the cities. So you know how in cities, there are sometimes no space at all in between buildings. They are right next to each other. They share a wall. And if you could build on the edge, you could actually do that in The Sims. Just that would make me so happy, you know, because there's so much space. Like if you're building in San Myshuno, it's supposed to be a very big city, but you don't really get the opportunity to build right next to each other like you would in a city. So I'm telling you what, that would just make a world of difference to me. I would be incredibly happy about that. Maybe that could possibly be a Sims 5 thing? Hopefully. Although I know I have to be careful talking about Sims 5 because some people get very upset. Some people are very much not ready for Sims 5. I'm actually very ready for Sims 5. I don't even know why. I think I'm just ready for something new. And, you know, I really don't like to hate on Sims 4 at all. I feel like I'm an overall pretty positive person, but I was pretty disappointed with Sims 4 when it came out, and I think that, you know, even with the addition of new packs and new updates and all that, I feel like it just can't reach its full potential. Does that make sense? Don't get me wrong, I very much love Sims 4. I just have high hopes of Sims 5 being better, you know? Like maybe if Sims 5 isn't rushed and it starts off like the base of the game can start off better. I don't know. I just think Sims 5 is gonna be a good thing. Not that I'm ready for it right this instant, but I'm definitely hoping that they're working on it. That's a good thing in my opinion. So I don't know. I'm hoping it turns out really good. It definitely would suck to have to start all over and buy all the packs over again. And like I totally get that, but I played The Sims 3 long after Sims 4 came out. There was many packs out for Sims 4, like before I switched exclusively to Sims 4. So you know, if it came out, I would still play Sims 4 for quite a long time. I'm sure of that. I guess what I really mean is that I feel like if they made The Sims 5 and it was just a much better base game, then I think, you know, how much better would the game be after all, you know, adding all these packs? Because a lot of the packs that we've gotten for Sims 4 have had to really make the base game better because it was so lacking. So I feel like if we started off with just a better base, and that, you know, that like it'd be huge potential for an amazing Sims game. So yeah, I guess that's really just my point. Don't be mad at me though. Like I said, I know some people get very mad about, you know, even talking about Sims 5. You know, I don't know, I think it could be a really good thing. Like I said, I wouldn't stop playing Sims 4 for sure. I just think it could be really good. But of course, that's all dependent on how they make The Sims 5. You know, really, if it is way better base game, then I'm like, yeah, I'm all about Sims 5. If it's just more of, you know, the lacking kind of base game, then I'm all on your side too. I'm like, no, let's just continue making Sims 4 better. You know, so it's really just dependent on how they make The Sims 5. What are your guys' opinions on that though? What do you think? Are you totally ready for Sims 5, or are you really just wanting to focus still on Sims 4? I'm curious about what you think. And you know, PlayStation 5 did put out a list of games that are going to be on their new console, and Sims 5 was apparently on that list. So it's, I guess, happening. Just don't know when, of course. I'm thinking at least 2021, if not 22 maybe, who knows, because it's like in the next gen console, and there's just no telling, of course, when that will be. But, you know, I think we could all probably guess that Sims 5 was eventually going to happen. With how successful Sims 4 has been, I thought, you know, it's inevitable, of course. But I just want to know what you guys think, if you think it should come sooner rather than later, or if you're the opposite. Right here in this build, I wanted to put a little area where it looks like a squatter has been living in this abandoned factory. So I have like dirty clothes and old food containers and some candles and this bed, of course. And I did want this place to have a vibe of people kind of sneaking into the place quite often. So of course then we have, even though there's a fence up, it's definitely, you can get through the fence. So we have the graffiti all over the place and trash, of course, things that people have just dumped in here. And maybe some nefarious activity has gone on in this place. And so that's really why the neighborhoods come together and wanted to fix the place up. I don't think I recorded everything that I did to make this place look really, really old, because a lot of it does take a lot of time. And I was placing like individual pieces of trash and things like that. But I do go through and place some spider webs all over the place. Those spider webs from the vampire pack are so good when you're wanting to build an abandoned building. And I put some things from Strangerville. It's like water stains and stuff like that. I put those all over the place. I really like so many of the things they've added to make a place look old and run down. One thing that I really love about this pack is that it came with that little TV. It's like the wood grain TV with like the bunny ears on top. Love that so much. I hope they continue doing that. One thing I would really like is if they added in like old house phones, because not all the builds that I do are modern. I want some of them to look old. And even in some modern homes, people still have those house phones hanging up. So I would love some house phones. I would love some more kitchen stuff. I need more kitchen counters, first of all. But I would also like a blender and a toaster. And I think the cool kitchen stuff just did not come with enough things in it. It only came with one set of counters. I know counters are very difficult to make. They're a lot of work. But I need more counters, desperately. I think that I've complained about counters in every video that I've ever made. I apologize for that. I want to make sure you know how serious I am about wanting new counters. I really think it's because kitchens are my favorite room in a house to build in The Sims. They're also my favorite rooms in real life houses too. You have a nice kitchen, then it's just a nice house. I mean, that's how I feel. Like kitchens, what do they always say on HGTV? Kitchens are the heart of the home. Yep, I believe that. I totally forgot to mention something earlier on in this video. It slipped my mind completely. I wanted to let you guys know that whenever I get debug stuff from the menu, there's so many debug things to look through. So I did want to let you know that I'm sorry. That's why I don't show myself like scrolling through and choosing all the debug items that I'm going to use, because it just takes me way too long. It would turn this video into like at least an hour long. And so anytime I get debug, and really most of the time when I get clutter as well, I try to do it while I'm not recording, so I'm not like, having to make an hour-long video. That is just too long. So that is why I went from having like a completely empty building to then having a full building full of just junk laying on the floor. That is the process of me going through debug the like over 1,000 items and picking out stuff for the build. Well guys, we are pretty much done with this build, just a couple more decorations to go, and I just want to thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I hope to talk to you all again very soon. Bye everybody!